It's Sunday morning on CBS. Here again is Jane Pauley.
His is a tale based on a book whose author was first listed as anonymous. Maybe because back in 1818, stories written by young women wouldn't be taken seriously. But there's no question its very young author created a classic. Roxana Saberi has chapter and verse on Frankenstein.
We all know the tale
The crack of lightning,
of the mad scientist
an unholy creation.
and that unholy creation which became his undoing.
I will have revenge. Frankenstein!
Frankenstein's monster has taken many shapes over the years.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
But it first came to life 2 centuries ago on these pages written by a young woman barely 18 years old.
Here we have something that really gives us the genesis of the novel Frankenstein.
Mary Shelley's original manuscript is held at Oxford University's Bodleian Library in England, where Chris Fletcher is keeper of special collections.
From relatively modest beginnings of 500 copies of this in 1818 to what it's become now.
A classic.
Tells a really interesting story.
That story began 2 years earlier, when its author left England with her future husband, the poet Percy Bysshe Shelley. They joined fellow poet Lord Byron at this Swiss villa for what was supposed to be a pleasant holiday on the shores of Lake Geneva. How much has this place changed since Mary was here 200 years ago?
Well, not much at all. It's almost exactly as it was in Byron's day, down to the railings along the terrace.
While the villa is much the same, University of Geneva professor David Spur explains that summer was like none other.
An almost perpetual rain confines us principally to the house.
It wasn't just the perpetual rain, as Shelley wrote in her letters, but a freakish volcanic eruption in Asia that shrouded much of Europe in cold and darkness, setting the gloomy stage for a Gothic masterpiece.
Lord Byron suggested one night, we shall each write a ghost story. And so the results of that famous contest are known.
Are you saying if the weather had been fine that summer, we might not have a Frankenstein?
I think that's quite probable.
The storms figure heavily in Shelley's ghost story, which would become the novel Frankenstein, published in 1818. Her tale about a man-made monster turned murderer has been translated into dozens of languages and mutated into countless adaptations and spin-offs.
Hello, handsome!
Ranging from slapstick comedy
Oh, I just love success.
He's a credit to your genius, master.
to dramatic theater, a few comic books, even songs.
It is the monster man.
Frankenstein has taken up a permanent place in popular culture. But this monster is often misunderstood. A lot of people think that Frankenstein is the name of the creature, of the monster, when in fact it's the name of his creator.
The creature himself does not have a name.
Another common misconception is that Frankenstein's monster is purely evil. But events marking the novel's bicentennial portray him as a lonely character, neglected by his creator.
So inside he might have beauty, but people don't give him a chance to show it.
Do you think they should?
Yeah.
We're going to talk Frankenstein.
At University College London, Professor Jack Stilgo says Frankenstein is still teaching us
About science, about responsibility. For example, as a researcher, is what you're doing ethical? Do you have responsibilities for the things that you create? Now there are real tools that are giving scientists the potential to enact potentially massive changes to life. Say, should we be editing the human genome? Right? Should we be trying to improve upon human nature? That's a question that we should all have a say in.
enduring questions first posed by a young writer 200 years ago.
She is dealing with eternally relevant issues here and articulates them in such an innovative and fantastic way.
Should we read the novel in 2018?
Absolutely, now more than any other time.
You could call him Mr. Halloween. John Carpenter directs movies that strike fear into the hearts of millions. With Lee Cowan, we journey into the mind of a master of horror.
Even on a bright Southern California day, this otherwise cheerful house feels sinister. Thanks to that hauntingly familiar theme echoing from somewhere inside. John Carpenter was just a few years out of USC Film School when he composed it to add melodic malevolence to his classic Halloween.
It's that sort of repetition, and the audience is kind of waiting for something to change.
It's putting you on your nerves. Like, what is going on? Let's get this thing changing. Come on now. Stop this repeating over and over and over.
It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, that's it.
He seems benign enough at 69, but remember, Carpenter also wrote and directed the film too, unleashing Michael Myers to the world.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
I wanted the audience not to know whether he was human or supernatural. And he had no character. He was blank. He was simply evil. He's like the wind, he's out there. He's gonna get you.
And that's what's the most terrifying.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. It's what you don't know about, what you can't see. It's out there.
Released almost 40 years ago, Halloween not only launched Jamie Lee Curtis to stardom, it made Carpenter the king of things that go bump in the night.
I was just this kid with long hair trying to make a movie with a bunch of cute actresses, that's all.
But look what came out of it, though.
You know, it's great. I was lucky. It was fun. God, it was fun.
The critics weren't enthusiastic at first, but word of mouth soon spread, and it became one of the most profitable independent films of its time.
I remember this famous screening where I got to sit outside and listen to the audience scream at Halloween. It was like a symphony. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. They screamed in all the places I wanted them to scream. And I thought, oh man, that's something.
There have been so many Halloween sequels, it's hard to count.
My idea was that we should never make a sequel to the original Halloween.
You never wanted to?
No story left. There was nothing left to say. Boy, was I wrong, huh?
Carpenter is long past being asked what scares him. But he always seemed to tap into what scared us, whether it was death lurking in the fog, a possessed Plymouth in Christine, or evil awakened in Prince of Darkness. And he composed the themes for all.
I was going to say, I mean, most people directing a film is enough work, let alone scoring one on top of it.
Show you how stupid I am.
In fact, there are so many, he's put them on a new movie-theme album called Anthology, and he's about to head out on tour. Despite it all, though, he has one more score yet to write. The one to what he insists will be the last Halloween sequel. He's executive producing, and he's bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back as well.
Can you give us a little sneak?
No, I'm not going to give you anything.
Little? Just a little something?
It's pretending the other sequels didn't happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's hard to take a classic and make it better. But if anyone can, it's John Carpenter, who, like his name implies, builds the scariest moments piece by piece. But lets our imagination drive the nail in the coffin.
I stopped in at Ken's Magic Shop the other day to pick up a rubber fish, but they told me Ken wasn't here. He was out in Chicago at the Halloween Trade Show. The Halloween Trade Show. Now, you may not be thinking much about Halloween these days, but thousands of people are.
Look at the detail work on the scarecrow. The patches, it comes with the rope. Now you tell me this isn't a nice piece of goods.
It's almost like wearing nothing.
Our whole county, 250,000 people.
You can wear it all evening.
Can I smell your flower?
And you may think of Halloween as all fun and games.
We're all hand done by Happy the Clown.
But to those in the burgeoning Halloween industry, it's serious business.
Yes, the Roman comes with the red cape, the leg spats, the vinyl skirt.
Everything that's in this picture comes with that set.
Right, if you get the whole set.
Okay. Hank, if we're going to get that with the red, I think we're going to go with the black and the white on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good?
Good. Yeah, I like that one.
I think
You call today and I'll ship it tomorrow. You'll have it the next day.
The show is 500 booths of Halloween and springtime.
This man is actually making a living doing this.
Do you believe it?
When I was a kid, my mom would go into the closet the day before Halloween, haul out a bunch of my dad's old clothes, throw them on me, and tell me I was a hobo. Now, Halloween is a billion-dollar industry, and you can be anybody you want to be.
She fits well and she's very comfortable to wear. Let me see if I can get her on.
It wouldn't be a trade show without models, some of whom are more attractive than others.
You know what this is?
A staple.
Poultry in motion.
It's a little hard to talk in here.
Those attending the Halloween show seem to be special.
They're a special breed to do Halloween, absolutely.
Why do people get into this business?
Because it's a lot of fun. Really, it is a lot of fun.
Do you have to be a little bit imbalanced or no?
Absolutely. You have to be a lot imbalanced, I think.
I put 24 here.
Okay.
Buyers want to be on top of the latest trends. Saddam Hussein seems to be the Bart Simpson of this year's show. Why do you think that'll be big this year?
Middle East. Name up here, and it gives you the...
In fact, almost anything Middle Eastern is selling well.
$14.
I think we're going bananas and soft. Soft like bananas.
Look at this one, guys.
You can go in a whole herd.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Artificial blood. This is the regular blood. This is the blood that actually matches human blood perfectly. Let's try this.
Joe Blasco is the blood king.
It doesn't stain. It washes right out of clothing. You have to test it sometime.
We have everything for Halloween, whether you want to have fog in an old cemetery or one of my buddies here that's been hanging around for quite some time.
You sell those?
Yeah, we're going to have to start feeding him, I think.
What is it? Philip Morris can satisfy all of your Halloween needs.
Halloween is the second largest commercial holiday in the United States. Second only to Christmas.
This is a good item. $3.
And they have the cut off hands.
Body parts are very big for $91.
These are arms, the hands with feet. They all been severed from the previous owners.
And lo and behold, I did find Ken from Ken's Magic Shop back home.
What, mummies and torsos and body parts and arms and legs and, you know, all that people love.
How do you know if severed arms are going to be in 6 months from now?
I sell a lot of those every year. body parts are very big. See, my kind of store is not like a party store. I get people that are deep into Halloween.
So you think about Halloween all year long?
All year. That's our life is based on Halloween.
This is a hanging bat. You hang it in the window, the car window.
Give me 3 dozen, 3 dozen, 3 dozen.
Look at that.
All right. Needs a little bit of eye work, but you like it?
Yeah.
How do those personality things go? Like George Bush.
George Bush is a hot shot.
He is?
And it's going to be even hotter.
And so while the rest of us think of daffodils and baseball and Mother's Day, Ken and the others head home to await their shipments of slime and spiders and severed limbs, and to think fond thoughts of Halloween.
Hello.
And George Bush is going to be bigger than ever.
You think so?
Yeah, the incumbent president.
I've been asked to pick the scariest movie ever, and the task is, frankly, scary. Look, I was weaned on horror. How can I omit so many films I still carry with me, like family photos? From the silent Nosferatu, to Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, to Hitchcock's Psycho, to the best of all giant monster shockers, Jaws, which makes you laugh at your own crazy terror.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
But there is one film that rises to the top, or sinks to the bottom, depending on your vantage. It's a movie made for nothing, that started small and seeped into the culture like blood into a rug. It's George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. There's a mistaken idea it's a zombie film. Back then, zombies meant undead slaves in Haiti, most of them harmless. Romero gave us ghouls that feed on human flesh and spread their contagion like a virus, a plague. It was 1968, the height of 20th century American social upheaval. The Vietnam War seen every day on your TV, race riots, the nuclear family fracturing. Night of the Living Dead didn't happen in a vacuum. Romero poured that unrest into the film, which opens with a flag fluttering in a lonely cemetery and ends with images that evoke a lynching.
You boxed yourself in the cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it.
The hero is black, unprecedented in horror then. Dwayne Jones has a manner that's not unlike Sidney Poitier. He's one of 7 trapped in a farmhouse, boarding up windows, while ghouls amass outside. Some scenes are clunky, the actors variable, from excellent to amateur, but the gore is still shocking. The blood runs shiny black in black and white. Romero's canted angles intensify the claustrophobia. The nightmarish absurdity. Brother attacks sister. Child butchers mother. In the years since Romero's masterpiece, flesh-eating ghouls, zombies if you will, have become commonplace. The ideas cannibalized in movies and TV, parodied, domesticated.
Bill Murray, you're a zombie?
But Night of the Living Dead will always be there. Like the old man in the cemetery, coming slowly but relentlessly to feed on our nerves.
So have you ever been this close to the Bates Motel?
No. This is actually
to filmmaker Jordan Peele, a stroll on the set of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho at Universal Studios is a little slice of horror heaven.
Are you kind of geeking out a little bit?
I'm totally geeking out. I feel like I'm standing in the same place that really great directors stood, and it's just the coolest thing.
Jordan, right here again.
Right now, the coolest thing in Hollywood might be 38-year-old Jordan Peele himself, the man who wrote and directed last year's suspense juggernaut, Get Out.
How do you feel now?
can't move. You're paralyzed. Now, sink into the floor. Wait. Sink.
It soared with critics and audiences alike, a ticket-selling monster that cost less than $5 million to make and earned more than $250 million at the box office. And here's something even more startling. It's the first movie Peele directed, ever.
What's it like for you to see how Get Out has been received?
Unreal.
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna, you know.
The film's a sharp look at race relations, a tense thriller with some much-needed comic relief.
He came to the party with a white woman like 30 years old now. Sex slave!
Daniel Kaluuya is Chris, a New York photographer who goes to visit his white girlfriend's family upstate. They all seem well-meaning at first, but Chris soon realizes they're anything but.
Where are those keys, Rose?
You know I can't give you the keys, right, babe?
The point is that, you know, at the end of the film, everyone's cheering Chris on, no matter who you are. And so I felt like something about that would make for a better conversation about race after the film than before it.
And do you feel like that's happened?
Yeah, I've seen that happen. Where it's awkward to talk about race, it's less awkward to talk about the film Get Out.
Why us? Huh? Why black people?
People want to change. Some people want to be stronger, faster, cooler.
Black is in fashion.
I know you talked about how important it is that people are having conversations now. That's one of the cool things that you like to hear. You know, this is also a time when there are lawmakers who aren't going to attend the State of the Union because they think our president's a racist. I mean, where are we?
You know, first of all, the president is a racist, which is very sad. I'm disheartened by policies that are xenophobic and sexist, and there are many strides backwards every day. So what I am encouraged by is that the movie Get Out has been heard and received, and that I'm seeing many other examples of art and film and television that are expressing these pains, frustrations, love in new ways, and that they're being received and heard.
These conversations about race are something Jordan Peele's been pondering his whole life. His mother, Lucinda, who is white, raised him on her own, encouraging his creativity with homemade Halloween costumes and lots of movies. His dad, who was black, left the picture early on.
It's no accident. My art is exploring what the African American identity is and means. You know, not having my father around to guide me in what that means, I think left me with a lot to question and explore.
I am Keegan-Michael Key.
I am Jordan Peele.
And we are Key and Peele. Thank you.
His first chance to really explore that was Key and Peele, the sketch comedy show Peele created with Keegan-Michael Key. They found new ways to talk and joke about race in bits like this one, where Peele played President Obama and Key his anger translator.
On the domestic front, I just want to say to my critics, I hear your voices and I'm aware of your concerns.
So maybe if you can chill the hell out for like a second, then maybe I can focus on some you know?
Your Obama is one of your most memorable impressions.
Well, now, are you trying to get me to do it?
Yes, actually, thank you.
Is that what that is? Hey, because I don't need much prompting. I'm a ham. In my heart, I'm a ham.
As long as it makes people laugh, I will shamelessly try to, and it also feels so cool to be Obama. So much cooler than Jordan Peele. That's,
Key and Peele ended after 5 seasons, And while Peele won't say it's gone forever, he's got other priorities now.
Are you not going in front of the camera anymore? Is that true?
Yeah, that's the idea. Daniel Day-Lewis and I are both out. How can
you say that?
Well, so acting is just nowhere near as fun for me as directing.
Peele signed a deal with Universal to make his next movie, and he's partnered with CBS All Access to produce a new Twilight Zone series. And he's busy at home, too. He and his wife, actress Chelsea Peretti, welcomed a baby boy last summer.
I know it's cliche, but do you say I'm going to be that dad that I never had?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's really what I want to be is the type of dad that my mom was,
And action.
No doubt Mom's proud. Peele and Get Out were nominated for 2 Directors Guild Awards, and the Oscar buzz is building. But suspense is something Jordan Peele seems well equipped to handle.
Honestly, there's no award that will ever compare to the feeling that I've been able to give people a movie that they needed. I mean, it's just so unbelievable.
That's better than any award?
100%. 100%.
But the awards would be nice.
The awards would be nice. Because then I can be like, see? I told you.
Savannah. Stately. Sensual. Sultry. And
put his hat on.
Slightly spooky as the city gets in the mood for Halloween. Savannah, Georgia claims to be the most haunted city in the United States. Among Savannah's ghosts, real or imagined, little Gracie, who died at the age of 6 in 1889. Legend has it that in the cold of winter, when the moon is full, her cheeks are warm. But the real story here isn't Gracie's ghost. It's her historic surroundings in Bonaventure Cemetery.
The beauty of the place overcame me immediately.
Made famous by John Berendt's 1994 love letter to Savannah's eccentricities, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Made into a movie in 1997.
Dead time? Half hour before midnight for working good. Half hour after for evil.
Well, I thought that was so evocative, the word garden, the word evil, good, evil, and midnight. I mean, the 4 wonderful words.
Hi. Okay, well, we are going on a tour this morning. My name's Angela. Well, we do have to make one little stop. I want to introduce Mr. John Berendt.
We invited Berendt to join a surprised and rather starstruck bus tour based on his book.
38 printing for this.
We're going to be driving out to Bonaventure Cemetery. It's just 3 miles out of the historic district.
Once a plantation, Bonaventure became a cemetery in 1846. Because of its beauty, Savannians used it as a park for Sunday strolls and picnics. The monuments here tell stories of Confederate soldiers, of disappointed lovers, of Nazi persecution, of tragedy, of wealth. If a cemetery could have a soundtrack, Bonaventure's would be the music of its most famous occupant, songwriter Johnny Mercer.
John Herndon Mercer, Johnny, with the single line in quotes, and the angels sing, which of course is his song.
The
angels sing the sweetest song I ever heard.
Past other graves in this spectral city where a Bonaventure superstar used to be. When Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil came out, Bird Girl, as the statuary bird bath on the cover is known, was so overrun with visitors, she was being loved to death.
This area right here is unrecognizable if all you had to go on was the cover of Midnight. And the Bird Girl's gone.
She's now in a local museum for her own protection.
And how do you feel about that?
I love it. It's now part of the art history of Savannah, and really nobody knew about it until Midnight.
Before the book, 5 million tourists visited Savannah annually. Now it's nearly 14 million. Bonaventure Cemetery gets 250,000 visitors. Not all of them for tours.
Dearly beloved,
This year, 80 couples will have tied the knot among the tombstones. But if you want to be buried at Bonaventure, bad news, it's sold out. And speaking of bad news, the place closes at 5 p.m. So no one will be here in the dark of Halloween night to see whether the dead walk.